This game is fucking great. It's fucking magic. It's fucking great. This game's a masterpiece. I can't wait for you to download it and play it and give it a go, and you to take my word as gospel and give it a go, and 15 quid in the eShop. When you play this, you might fucking faint. When you play this game, you might actually faint. When you play this game, you realise that maybe actually games are art. Maybe actually art. Moon Remix RPG Adventure, to give it its full title, is an RPG developed by Lovedelic, who, if you remember, right back in the early days of Consolevania, we reviewed one of their games before, a game called Lack of Love on the Dreamcast. They were a developer who made lots of offbeat, strange games, and this is without a doubt their masterpiece. Not just their masterpiece, but their masterpiece is what aliens might say about this game if they saw it. There being us, being humans. This is humans' masterpiece. This is a masterpiece. In this game, you are not the hero of the RPG. You are somebody that's been sucked into an RPG game and you're following around in the wake of the hero. What you're doing is, as the RPG hero is going around and killing monsters and levelling up, you're going around and trying to reunite the monsters' spirits with their dead bodies so that they can be rescued. You are expressing love by interacting with characters and finding the moments of love within their life and within their routines. It's got a day-night cycle. All the villagers and stuff have their own routines. This is before Shenmue came out, before Majora's Mask came out. And it's really staggering from moment to moment, from beat to beat. You're constantly surprised, shocked, stunned, amazed, delighted, and just... I mean, this is just a game that you fall in love with. You fall in love with Moon. Let me quickly try and explain why this game is so good. First of all, the characters. This is an old guy you meet who hates Americanisms and yet communicates almost entirely in Americanisms without realising it. This is the kind of humour that's shot right through everything in Moon. It's a really funny game. Even though it's a game about love and about heart and there's a lot of sad stuff in it, most of the time it's just really, really funny, and I mean genuinely funny. I mean, it's funny. And sorry for the spoilers here, but this is one of my favourite gags in it. This old guy telling you a story. Listen. And then you can't hear him or the sound of his windmill mechanism spinning round. I mean, it's funny, right? That's funny. Here's how I imagine this game came to be. I imagine you had these game designers who were used to making RPGs, using the conventions of RPGs, using all the tropes of RPGs and the systems of RPGs, and they've sat in some late night restaurant or bar in Japan, and they've said to each other, imagine you had an RPG where you couldn't just walk about killing monsters all the time to level yourself up. Imagine you didn't have that game mechanic to lean on all the time to fill your game out. Imagine you made a game where you leveled up by doing compassionate things and performing acts of love. What would that game be like? Well, here's the first thing it would be like. It would be a game where you couldn't rely on random battles and constant battles to fill in the game time. You don't have that to lean on. That crutch is gone. So what you need to do is keep coming up with new ideas all the time. New things for the players to do, new experiences for the players to enjoy, just new points of light all the time that make the player go, oh my god, this game is just genius. It's genius. Like, this game must have been really difficult to make, because it's constantly having to one-up itself with new ideas and new stuff, new moments of beauty and psychedelia and weirdness. And yet, while doing all this stuff that could easily become really self-indulgent, it's giving you rock-solid puzzles to solve. Because I guarantee you will reach points when you play this game where you go, I can't solve this puzzle, it's too obtuse, it's too weird, it's too abstract. And then you realise, when the solution occurs to you, actually, no, it was right there in front of me, it was plain. This game's just one step ahead of you. This game knows what the expectations of a video game player are. It knows that the player of this game is going to be an RPG fan and has certain expectations about how these games play out, and it will constantly subvert them, and it will constantly surprise. I mean, you're lucky I don't have 45 minutes to talk about this game, because I could really go deep on this. There's so many small moments of beauty and small moments of deep philosophy and also comedy. Back at this guy again. Do you enjoy Westernism? I mean, it's funny, right? So remember, when I'm saying all this, remember that the game remains funny all the time, right? Before I go into this kind of, before I put the old wank hat on, right? The game tries to be heavily philosophical in a very efficient manner. It doesn't. One of the other RPG tropes that it dismantles completely is that thing where in RPGs there are huge information dumps. There are characters who talk and talk and talk for ages to expand on philosophical concepts. What this game does is it makes all that stuff really brief and really efficient. Some incredible one-liners in here, some incredible wee moments of insight, quotable stuff that just takes you on a real journey, takes you on a real emotional journey. It's also nice that one of the characters is called Florence in this game, and he's this mad old guy who lives in a mushroom forest and gubs mushrooms all the time, which is obviously something I've never done, but I imagine if I ever did gub mushrooms, maybe I would end up like this guy. This was a nice wee point of interest for me as well. I mean, that could be me. He's away. Cheerio! Say no to drugs, guys. Fall 7 times, get up 8 times, that's life. And then you're sitting there thinking about that. Oh, there's some love. See, getting love in this game is sometimes just spending time with people. It's a beautiful game to play at this point where we've had a pandemic. We can't even get together with our pals or anything like that. It's really been quite moving to play a game that's all about just making connections with people. Sometimes you level up in love just by listening to somebody talk, just by going to visit them and hearing them talk about their life or their memories or stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's a nice thing to be reminded that expressing love is sometimes just being a listener. It's sometimes just being there for people. Back to this day-night cycle, which was really quite ahead of its time. It's a kind of living world where everybody goes about their routines, and sometimes you just have to sit and wait things out. Sometimes you have to sit and wait until night time, wait until the next morning, because things happen at different times of the day and surprising developments happen. And to make this stuff easier, You're allowed to buy mini discs. You're allowed to create your own soundtrack that you can listen to. This is a recording of an Amazonian tribe singing a song. You can buy that off your character and you can queue it up on your mini disc player and listen to it. You can create your own soundtrack as you wander around the field, and the soundtrack is just amazing. It's just, I mean, this is the way this game is curated. It is an art piece. It is an art piece because you've got these designers who are having so much fun with this game, so much fun experimenting with the RPG and adventure game form, that they've went further into the world of the soundtrack and curated this really, really artistic soundscape as well for it. Really emotive and really artistic, and you're just playing it and you're thinking to yourself, this is so ahead of its time. So ahead of its time. Because now obviously we have indie games, and this is a game that really influenced Undertale. You have these indie games that explore these video game tropes and you know, try to kind of deconstruct them and stuff like that. But this is a game that did it at the time when this stuff was all happening, and does it better than any indie game I've played. Does it better than any other game I've played. This is the ultimate deconstruction of the RPG. This is the ultimate deconstruction of the adventure game. It's a game that anybody who is interested in video games needs to play. If you love video games, you need to play this. Oh, and you want a wee arcade game bit in it? Of course. Of course there's going to be this. I didn't say it would be easy. So we've got a game here that cares about video games. It cares about how stories are told in video games. It cares about the planet. It cares about the environment. It cares about animals. It cares about how you live your life. It cares about the expression of love. It cares about the concept of what love is. It cares about humanity. It cares about people. This is a game that cares about how the sun rises and how the sun sets. This is a game that cares about creativity. It's a game that wants to inspire. And hopefully now that we can play it in English, it will inspire even more people to maybe visit that parallel universe where games developed in this insanely imaginative, creative, love-filled direction. Here's me just sitting with my granny. Except she's no my granny. She's the granny of a deed boy. I'm just wearing his clothes. This is Moon.